Hello. This will be the one and only time I probably do a live stream. Um, I'm not good at public speaking. I don't have good social skills. I did, however, see at one point in time, a couple days ago, a very, very good speaking individual speak to Tim Pool. Um, I only hope that this catches his attention because I am by no means a popular individual. I am by no means a good gaming streamer. Most of my streams are for my friends and for stuff I enjoy. Um, I guess the reason why I'm here today is sort of a little bit of a rant. It's a little bit of stuff that's going through my mind late at night. First of all, for all of you who watch this, I want you to know hello. I greatly appreciate you viewing this. Um, I welcome you, and I hope that what you hear, you don't take to heart or you don't misunderstand. This is purely stuff that's been rambling on in my head. Um, a little bit about myself, since this is the first time anyone's going to be seeing me live. I am a person who is pretty much disabled. I walk around with a cane all the time. I do not have the best streaming software, the best gaming, and I also live with family. I don't qualify for SSI because, for some odd reason, some of it being my fault, a lot of it being partly waiting lists, the way things are, just in general, everything that's going on. But anyways, what I'm here to talk about is kind of sort of a rant um, in reference to what's going on in today's climate. Um, I wish that humanity was in a better spot. It obviously can't, and it won't, because human beings as a whole are imperfect. Don't get me wrong, I have no delusions of grandeur. I consider myself worse than most people. Um, I have a lot of bad thoughts about myself. I unfortunately, at one point in time, thought self harm. Thankfully, this day and age, I'm in a much better place, much better health. I've gotten the help I needed. Um, anyways, on to the topic at hand. Um, I can say, as a person who lives in the United States, I am very disappointed in both humanity and the people who are in charge to lead us. Um, I don't harbor any ill will towards President Trump, although I think a lot of his methods, a lot of the things he says, a lot of things he's done in the past, I don't agree with. But the amount of how we shape the way people have presented themselves, those who have the ability to communicate with us, the people, uh, having a have been basically leading us astray. The objective of leaders is to do what's best for the community, what's best for the people. I my I wish to high hell I had the resources and the power, or even the modicum of respect needed to lead, because I would love, instead of it just being right or left or socialism or capitalism, I don't understand the reason why both can't come together. I physically don't understand why people can't meet in the middle. It's always you have to be on this side or the other side. one of the people I watch religiously, who I go for news and intellect. His name is Tim Pool. Uh, and Tim, if you ever get a chance to watch this, you probably won't, because you get probably tens and millions of things you watch on a daily basis. I'll try and tag you on Twitter, but I hold no responsibility for you to watch this. I'm just a little fish speaking his mind in the middle of the night. Tim Pool, if you guys ever get a chance to watch his YouTube, I highly advise you to watch him. He is an individual who knows he's not perfect, who, if he makes a mistake, he definitely corrects it. I have watched him many a times. Now, there are things that he personally believes in that I personally don't, but there are several stances that he agrees with that I agree with. I am more moderately conservative. He is more moderately democratic. And I love the fact that he's willing to talk to people. I absolutely love it. So if your people are willing to take an open mind and willing to just try and be logical, try and have some sort of, not to be closed-minded, I highly encourage you try and watch him. I love the fact that he tries to talk to both sides. But one of my biggest things that has always been an irritation to me, especially nowadays, is that it's become blatantly obvious in more ways than one that the people who are in charge, the people who we elect, and it's not exactly their fault. It's the hole that they've dug, and of course, I don't excuse them for the actions they've made, and I don't pretend that they'll ever acknowledge that they've made mistakes. I won't go into that. But the people who are in charge, they believe that they're there just for themselves. Long ago, they made it perfectly clear that they're not there to help the people, which should be the main goal of the government. The government is there to govern and lead the people. I don't understand why it has to be all black and white. It has to be left or right, or has to be conservative or liberal. I have a lot of things I pick from both sides of my point of view. A lot of the more stringent, more diverse topics I won't list, but something I do firmly believe in is that the people are what matter. It pains me and it hurts me as someone myself who has been suffering with financial hardship. I mean, look at me. I am dressed in a flannel shirt and a hat that's probably 3 years too old. I can barely afford to live day to day. I am $30,000, $40,000 in student debt because I made the mistake of going to college and not doing a trade. But that is my mistake. I don't say that college is not for everyone. My point is that I am hardship, and it has nothing to do with my race or nationality. But I am struggling. I've had it worse than some, but not worse than most. I was blessed by my father and mother to live a colorblind life. And what I mean by colorblind is that it shouldn't matter what creed, nationality, race, or religion you have. It doesn't matter. What matters is the actions you do, the actions that you commit. And unfortunately, we seem to be misguided to that lately. There's been the pride and choice. Let me put a prime example. There's been a lot of problems with police, a lot of accountability issues. And yes, there are some bad police, and I won't be afraid to admit that. But there's a greater problem. If there's bad police, then who are the leaders teaching the bad problems? Who are the leaders that are hiring these problems? Who are the governors, the mayors? Shit, pardon my French, but shit rolls downhill. If there's problems in the precincts, then the problems aren't just the precinct, and the problem is not just the police. If we have problems in government, it's the leaders, and it flows downhill. And unfortunately, none of this is ever going to get fixed. I know for a fact it's never going to get fixed. I will die at a young age because I have degenerative joints, and eventually my spinal column will collapse and my nervous system will shut down. So I have a bleak outlook on life to begin with. There is no cure for what I have. I've already had 2 spinal surgeries, and my spinal is so brittle and so degenerative that even at my age, which I'm not going to give out, I don't have a positive future. I've been to several spinal surgeries, several neurologists. At one point, I lost complete feeling in my entire right leg, and I'm just barely getting that back now. And yes, somehow I don't qualify for SSI. Why, I don't know. But I have made mistakes on that part. It's partly my fault in the way I process the application. So bear in mind, it's not just the government's fault. Anyways, we're going off topic, and I apologize. As I said, this stream is a rant mostly. It's me and my brain rambling at 3 o'clock in the morning. And again, Tim, I'm sorry if you have to watch all this and listen to my rambling. I apologize, but I appreciate you listening. If more people watch this, I appreciate you watching. I can't thank you enough. But my point of view is that I have no hope in my lifetime that people will change. Me as a person, I have physically given up, mentally and physically, that the humans will never change. We will be self-destructive, and by the time I'm probably 50, the world will have been destroyed. You may say, well, now you're being unrealistic, the world's fine, and at the rate we're going, I mean, for crying out loud, people are destroying small businesses and communities for no good reason, so let's not even get that started. But there are people who have the reach, the ability, the outspoken, the voice, to be the voice of reason, to tell people, hey, we need to come together, not be divisive. You have so many people who are starving, who are being abused. For God's sakes, there's a child sex ring happening in the United States. In what world is child slavery and abuse okay? Please, someone explain that to me. I have no idea why that's okay. I have no idea why we're not focusing on that. But as I said, that's part of the reason why I'm making this video, is because I'm hoping that I reach some of you, any of you. I am begging you, come together. Reach into your heart and realize that it shouldn't matter where you came from. What should matter is what you do now and in the future. I'm begging you, as someone who does not have a good life to look forward to, do something, anything to change what the outcome we're having. People who have the voice, use it for those who matter. The people who don't have a voice, the people who don't have the ability to speak. That's what truly matters. And that's why I'm doing this video. because I want somebody who has the ability to voice, who has the ability to speak, to tell everyone this is not okay. Where we are going, where we have been, it is not okay. In any fashion. Molding minds to believe that doing what they're doing now as rampant, rabid beasts is not okay. Anything that we have currently done in today's society should have stopped decades ago. One of my favorite videos of all time was Back to the Future when I was a kid. I would have loved anything 2015 to be what the show showed. The movie had the idea that by 2015 we'd have flying cars, we'd have hoverboards, disease would be a thing of the past, you'd be able to predict the weather down to the second. But unfortunately, greed, corruption, malice, and anything you can think of negative has happened since then. And it's not due to improve. Laughingly, our future has more in common to do with Mad Max than Back to the Future. We as a human race have all the capabilities to make a glorious future. But we're stuck in the past. We're stuck with mid-medieval century methodical thinking. And unfortunately, I don't foresee that ever changing. I hope that those who have the voice, who have the ability to speak, who have the power and the audience will see deep down and try to voice something on this. I highly doubt they will. I'm just a nobody. But unfortunately, when I see our current leaders on both sides of the aisle, I don't see them here for you and me. I don't see them here for each other. I see them there for themselves. The career politicians that they are, they probably don't even care about themselves. They're just self-destructive. If the people in power truly cared about me, truly cared about you, the individual, they would have long ago enacted measures to ensure our health, our well-being, ensure the collective humanity for better. Unfortunately, we're on the stupid kick of borders matter, and I'm not talking about the open borders or the wall in Mexico. I'm talking about countries as a whole. Why can't we be united as an earth? Why can't we just agree to disagree? I don't, even though I believe in higher powers, I don't support current religion. Why? Because I don't support the views. I have friends and associates who are Christian, Islamic, Jewish, hedonism. They do witchcraft, occult. I take them all in stride, and what I tell them is that you can believe in anything you want to believe as long as you don't do harm to others. You don't push your views on others. You don't force your beliefs on others. When you do that, you disrespect your own faith. You disrespect your own beliefs, because now it's not about your beliefs. It's about you and what you want. And unfortunately, that's where politicians have come in. If they truly cared, if they truly did care, those multi-million billionaires could fix the deficit and could help America's in heartbeat. I mean, that 1,500 stimulus, that lasted me less than a day. It put a dent in bills I owe, and that was it. I'm still in debt. Didn't fix shit. Will they fix it? Probably not. That would involve they actually care, though. That's the other thing. if anyone cares, I would suggest challenging our leaders, and not just of the United States government, all leaders. Challenge them to be better. Fix world hunger, fix war, fix poverty. All this shit that we currently have problems with, fix it. Reach for the stars. They all had this goal that they want to sometime this century be on Mars. I mean, hell, if we all came together as a planet, I foresee us in the next decade being on Mars. But I know it ain't going to happen because, unfortunately, people are only interested in me, myself, and I. And I don't want to have money. I don't want to have power because I don't foresee it being any useful to myself or anybody else. That's one reason why I don't go crazy on being a YouTuber. That's why I don't take most things seriously, because I don't have the time or effort left to put forth the effort. The only reason why I'm doing this is just to blurt out my thoughts, and hopefully somebody, anybody, learns and tries to put a better, positive spin forward. Like trying to make something better for themselves and better for each other. And I hope to God, whoever is watching, you do learn from this. And instead of having a singular view, a singular mind, you open your horizons, you talk to people, you share ideas. That's been a growing thing that should be the main thing for our world. I would have loved in my lifetime to be able to watch people reach to the stars. I'm a big anime fan, and I would have loved to have something like Log Horizon, Sword Art Online, or something like that, or Overlord. Laughingly, there's a YouTuber by the name of Nuxtaku, who's an anime aficionado, as I would say, who he makes me smile on occasion. And unfortunately, if he ever watches this, he'll probably troll me to a million years. But I would love to have the ability to go, even after death, because humans aren't immortal. I would have loved that we as a human race would be able to, after death, have our collective consciousness, or just our consciousness, uploaded into a world where we can explore, expand, where the limits of our imagination are unfathomable. But I don't foresee that coming anywhere remotely soon, because, as I said, we as a collective race are only interested in me, myself, and I. And it bugs me. It bugs me a lot. And, I don't have any delusions of grandeur. I know I'll never get the exposure or the wisdom or help people see that the only way we're going to be to the future is if we work together. And when I finish tonight, I plan on sharing this and tagging Tim Pool. And again, I apologize, Tim Pool, if you decide to watch all of this. As I said, this is mostly me just rambling. And I'm a very open-minded person, but I unfortunately, I don't even see the great Donald Trump. And I say that with a lot of joking aside. I don't see Donald Trump fixing any of this anytime soon, because I know our world leaders won't come together. I definitely know the United States politicians will not cooperate in any fashion for the lives and the well-being of the people. They're more interested in their self-interest than they are the people. If they truly cared, they could have fixed everything in a heartbeat. everything. That's how much power our Senate and House hold. They have the ability to fix everything right now. This very second, they have the ability to fix everything. Let that think in for everybody who's watching. Our Congress, our House, our judicial system, everybody has the power to fix all our problems right now. Our hunger, our crime, our deficit, our problems, our sickness, everything. They have the power, yet they choose not to use it. Because, again, it's more important for themselves than it is for the people. And there's also the problem that there needs to be hard choices made, and nobody wants to make the hard choices. And I don't know what those hard choices are. I don't think anybody does. But if there were hard choices to be made, what would there be? Would they be able to actually collectively talk to people about it? Probably not, because we live in a single-minded society. Mob mentality rules. But and I wish no harm. I know somehow in some way I'll be yelled at and I'll get more ugly mail than I care to deal with. And I don't really care because I'll just end up ignoring most of it anyway. All I truly want in my dream of dreams is for you, for me, for everybody to be happy, to be having a better future. I mean, isn't our purpose as human beings to want better for the people who are coming next in line? Isn't that what's important? Isn't that what matters? But as I said, I don't foresee it happening. I don't foresee any of it actually coming to fruition. And that's the part that makes me sad the most, is I know it'll never happen. And, there may be those group of people, well, you never know. And I'm like, I kind of do know. Look at our current state of our society. Look at the current state of our countries. We had a problem with a human-created disease. A human-created disease, meaning us as people made it. And we couldn't fix it. We couldn't give accurate information. We couldn't give accurate representation. We couldn't even give accurate leadership. Hundreds of thousands of millions of people died because of our negligence as a society. Let that sink in. You could blame everybody, but when it comes down to it, you and I are to blame. People as a whole are to blame in that. And the reason why I'm to blame is because I didn't help try and fix it. And I will forever be a bystander in it because I don't have the ability physically or mentally to do it. I mean, look at me now. I'm busy rambling at 3:10 at night, hoping that anybody will listen and help change the world. But I know it's not going to happen. And for those who are currently the leaders of society, I know you won't do anything because it doesn't affect you. You're comfort in your ivory towers. If you do have a heart, if you truly do care, if you care about the people who are struggling, who are poor, who are hungry, if you truly do care, I ask you to use this video as a reference to help further the goal of humanity to be better. We as humanity have the ability to be better, but we won't. As I said, we as a human race are flawed. But this will be my one and only time that I will be doing a live stream of me in person. And because number one, I have paranoia like you wouldn't believe, and number two, I have no delusions of grandeur. I just wanted to speak my piece once and only once, in hopes that someone, if anyone, who has the ability to speak, who has the people who can watch them, who and be able to lead people, to lead the people down a better path than what is currently available to us. For all of you who have watched, thank you very much. I hope that this will find you all in better situations tomorrow and to the future that you will have. And I hope that all of you will be happy, healthy, and in good spirits. As I said, I hope that somebody views this. I doubt anybody will. The only person I'm tagging is Tim Pool on Twitch, and for God's sakes, or not Twitch, Twitter, and I despise Twitter with a passion. There's never. I joke with my friends and say Twitter is the ideal place for haterade. It's a collective place for hate. All social media is. It's nothing but mob mentality and negative feelings. I have not even once liked social media. But that being said, I hope in some way this has enlightened somebody, and you're taking the steps from now on to be better for yourself, better for your community, better for your fellow man or fellow woman, or whatever gender they may choose to take, whatever race, whatever religion they choose to take. Laughingly, when I was a kid and I used to watch Gargoyles on the Disney Channel growing up, I was fascinated beyond all belief when they were able to change a human into a different animal or different hybrid. I would have loved for that to be a thing of today's age, where people can turn into a different animal. You know how awesome, how crazy that would have been? To be able to be a different species altogether? But unfortunately, the dream won't be a reality because it's not cost effective. It's not efficient. It doesn't matter to the person. But anyways, for everybody, I bid you a good night. May you rest well. May you have wonderful days ahead. I hope this has inspired some, if not many. And yes, I know I'm a small YouTube channel. As I mostly use this for streaming for my friends to watch me game, for those who can't afford the games that I have. So I hope that this enlightens people, this broadens horizons, and helps us lead a better life, which I doubt it will, but I thank you all for watching, and I hope that in the future you all have a wonderful time. I bid you all farewell and have a wonderful,